Hey guys, it's Peter. Today I thought I would review Batman The Killing Joke by Alan Moore, art by Brian Boland. So, first off, this came out in 1989 or 1986, I think. I know it came out right after Dark Knight Returns and Year One. After those came out, this came out. So kind of in that era. And it definitely fits. I mean, you can see the similarities on Alan Moore's obviously trying to bring something new to the table for Batman. Or more really for Joker, I'd actually say. I'd say that this is a lot more about the Joker than about Batman. Um, it's really the first really real development of the Joker that really has like a really strong emotional attachment to it, and that really comes across when you're reading it. This actually gets a lot of flack for being overrated, and I can't really say I agree with that, but I also can't really disagree, because when it comes down to it, this is only one issue. It's just a short story. It's hard to really compare it to a real graphic novel or a real story arc, because it was only one issue. I mean, it's like how in the Oscars or the Academy Awards, short films can't really be nominated for Best Picture, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the short films are worse than the feature-length films, you know? It's just kind of hard to compare them, but it also gets flack for being overrated because in many ways it is overrated a little bit. I mean, it is one issue, and it's being released in this kind of hardcover version. You know, it's kind of cool. It's got a nice book jacket on there with a with kind of a under it. It has a. It's kind of hard to see in the light, but it's kind of a picture of. It's a silhouette of Batman strangling the Joker, which actually is a black and white panel from the end of the book. But in the new edition, it has been recolored. This just came out last year, I believe. So it's been recolored from the original, and the colors are more subdued. Brian Boland colored it himself, whereas originally he did not color it himself, and he ended up being fairly disappointed with the way it turned out, because I feel like maybe the colors were too bright or something. So now the colors are a lot more melancholy and subdued, which really actually adds to the book, I would say, compared to the original. And the flashback scenes from the Joker's origins are black and white, as opposed to color from the original issue. They are black and white, but they also have red. It's black and white, and then you see the reds, and that in many ways plays up the whole Red Hood thing that's going on. You kind of have to read it to figure it out. But as for this being overrated, I would say that it's not really overrated, but I mean, I kind of, I was saying this before, it's hard to really make any sort of assumption about it because it's so short. I don't think it really compares to the rest of Alan Moore's stuff, because where Alan Moore really shines for me as a writer is his characters and his character development. If you read a book like Watchmen or The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen or V for Vendetta, his characters and their development is really what shines in all those books and brings them to life so well. I mean, his characters are so rich, and in this, and when he's writing Batman, he didn't make up Batman. It's someone else's character, so it's hard for him to really go anywhere. And since it's also one issue, he can't really develop characters that much. I mean, we don't really see development in anybody's character. We get a better look at the Joker, but he doesn't really develop, because he's just kind of stagnant. He's always been stagnant. Batman really hasn't, but Joker's kind of always been just one archetype of where he is. So because of those restrictions on Alan Moore, he can't really do much, and I think that with what he's been handed, he's done a lot, and he really deserves a lot of credit for his work on this. So that's kind of his part. Now Brian Beland, as far as the art, Brian Beland is a very good artist. I think now he only does covers actually, which is cool because the color, the cover of this is really cool. But he doesn't really do. I don't think he actually does issues anymore, which is sorry, I just ate, which is kind of a disappointment. But as for the art in this, it's very good, The way he draws the Joker is incredible. And you can see that's really, where a lot of inspiration from probably the animated series or something has come from, is from his Joker, because it's very well drawn. I don't really like how he draws Batman. You have to take kind of a closer look at it if you own it, and kind of his features are too, I feel like they're a little too round, and it's just very old-fashioned. I mean old-fashioned as in comics from like the 60s and 70s, not really from the 80s like we see like a Frank Miller or like what a Dave Mazzucchelli was doing. But that's just personal, but I can admit that he's a very good artist. I just personally don't really like how he draws Batman. As for price, this kind of hardcover edition with the book jacket, and it has like forewords, or it has an introduction and a closing. It'll cost you $17.99, and to tell you the truth, I don't really think that is worth it if you just want to read it and be done with it. I mean, it's a very good read, but it's also a very quick read. You can finish it in less than half an hour. It's just one issue, But I mean, seeing that, issues nowadays cost $3, seeing that this costs, almost $20, it comes with some stuff, but I mean, if you just want to read it and be done with it, then I don't think it's worth it. But if you are a collector, like me, and you kind of want this to add to your collection, it's definitely great. I mean, it's really nice. It's really well put together, and and all the new colors. The colors are. I mean, I don't really think that you can find the old edition anywhere, but the more subdued colors in this are a lot better, and I feel like they do really add to it. Or what they actually, in a way, they take away from it, but that's in a good way. It's really good. You can't deny that. But then again, it's very short, which so it's hard to kind of analyze it too much. But for what it is quite amazing. It's probably, the best single issue ever. So that's, that's what it's got going for it. But I suggest you pick it up if you're a big fan of Batman. Otherwise, not so much. But I'll see you guys later.